everybody. How are you today? Thanks so much for joining us. This is our July session of our Healthy Kitchen series with Purdue Extension. I am Meagan Brothers, the Health and Human Sciences educator in Vanderburgh County, and I am in my backyard. So I'm going to be yelling into my to mow while I'm doing this. So turn up that volume if you can't hear me. Put in the comments that you were here watching us today. Of course, anytime you have questions, please feel free to put those in the comments. And those who are watching us as a recording, welcome to you as well. You're always welcome to comment with any questions or email me with any questions that you might have. Today's topic is on using local produce in a different way and in a fun and festive way. So we're coming into a holiday weekend, and while your holiday plans may look a little different this year, we all still might be outside grilling, or at least a lot of us might be. And I love grilled food. There's something about the smells and that flavor of grilled food that just makes me think of summer. So make sure too, when you're putting in the comments, tell us your favorite summer grilling recipe in the comments to share with us. So today we're talking about using local produce, because when we are here in the midst of summer, it's the beginning of July, we are in southern Indiana and we have a beautiful array of local produce that we can choose from. And I actually went out this morning and bought a bunch of our produce that we're using for today's video. So I'm really excited to get my grill going and show you guys how to do some grilling. Of course, I'd love to be there in person to grill with you guys so that you could smell and taste all this good yummy stuff, but unfortunately I just get to enjoy it myself. But let's get started. So I've got my grill going. And if you're new to grilling, or you've been kind of unfamiliar with grilling, or grilling with produce, because not everyone thinks of grilling vegetables on their grill, but you can grill almost anything on a grill. Grills are great because you don't have to worry about heating up your oven inside and heating up your house during the summer. You can use your grill, still get those great flavors, and have a healthy way to cook, because a lot of times too, you're not using as many oils and butters and things like that when you're grilling that you would if you were inside. So make sure to put in the comments that you were here watching with us. So welcome. We're in my backyard using my grill and all of my own tools and stuff. So we'll see how this all goes. So I have a wide variety of produce that I have gotten. A lot of it I got this morning. Another awesome thing about our area is that we have lots of farmers who want to share their bounty with us. So I got my produce this morning from the produce patch. Their main farm is up in Washington, Indiana, but they have a stand in Newburgh. But there's lots of farms, there's lots of farmers markets in the area, so make sure to check those out if you're interested in getting some of that fresh local produce. So I was able to get some corn on the cob, which I am very, very excited about getting our corn on the cob. And I'll show you the rest of these veggies in a minute. One thing to remember when you're grilling on with vegetables, you can buy grill pans, you can buy all kinds of, they sell pretty much any gadget that you can think of. But what I use is aluminum foil. You just lay some aluminum foil, dull side up, so that's the non-stick side up, it's on your food, and that's all you have to do. Now you have to remember your aluminum foil is going to get really hot because it's sitting on a hot grill, but it's still easier than either having to buy all that stuff or having all your stuff fall through the grates, right? So I've got my aluminum foil on here, and I've got my grill preheated, which is also very important. I've also put some olive oil on my aluminum foil to help the food from sticking. You can use any kind of oils. They make different sprays for the grill if you want to use something like that. There's a lot of variety out there. It doesn't have to just be olive oil. You can use any kind of oil that you would like to put on there. So it's really pretty easy. I like using all this on here, and while it's grilling, I'm going to talk to you more. But comment there, let me know that you're here, and share with us your favorite thing to put on your grill at home. Or maybe what your plans are, and what your plans are for this weekend. Are you going to be doing any grilling? I have a pretty small little gas grill here. Charcoal grills are great, and if you don't have a grill outside, that's okay too. They actually, I've seen people have made indoor grills, but you can also get a griddle pan and have that on your stove, and that will still give you those grill marks on your food, without having to have a grill to heat up if you don't have the space or you don't have a grill at home. Hello everybody, hello, hello. Yes, it is, it's pretty hot out here. You might, hopefully you can't see me sweating right now, but that's okay because the smell's gonna be worth it and it's gonna all be worth it. So, like I said, all my produce, except for my carrots, came from the produce patch. And I bought it this morning, so it is super fresh and super great. And the great thing about local produce is that there's quite a bit of debate that perhaps local produce is actually healthier for us. Any fruits and vegetables are great for us. They're gonna give us vitamins and minerals that our body needs. But when we get things local, most of the time those farmers are out in those fields that morning or the day before, bringing it to you at either the farmers markets or those produce stands to bring that food to you. So it is super fresh at the peak of its freshness. And so we know when food is ripe, that's when it's at its peak of nutritional value. When we think about some of our foods that are coming from across the country, coming from even other countries perhaps, that food has to be picked well before it's actually ripe. Because as it's picked, it's still going to continue to ripen. They're just saying that real food rots, right? Because once you pick the food, it doesn't stop growing. It continues to develop. It develops those enzymes that start to then break that food down. So real food will go bad, right? So if we pick food when it's really ripe and then ship it across the country, it's not going to be good anymore. It's going to go bad before it gets to us. So many times they have to pick it before it's actually ripe and let it ripen as it's getting shipped to our location. Might sit in a grocery store, might go to there's a lot of different ways food can be distributed before it actually gets to our table. So when we buy local food, not only are we supporting our local farmers and our local economy, but we also might get food that's at its peak and get a little bit more nutritional bang for our buck with those vegetables that we're getting locally. So I'm gonna check on my food here. Hopefully you can see it. It's not a real close-up. I'll see if I can move my camera here in a minute to get you guys really close. But basically, you cook it until it's finished. The cool thing about vegetables is you cook them until they're at the doneness that you want them to be. Some people prefer their vegetables to be a little crunchy. That's okay. Some people prefer them to be really nice and almost mushy and gooey. So it's really up to you as far as how you want it to be. And I'm going to talk specifically about this corn here. I love corn on the cob. Now, you can sort of start to see some of the grill marks on here, if I can do it without dropping it. You can grill corn like this, just straight on here, or you can keep it in its husk and grill it that way. I like to have the grill marks on mine, so that's why I'm throwing mine directly on the grill itself. But you can do it however works for you. So I'm going to just rotate this stuff here a little bit. And if you're just joining us, be sure to let me know you're here. Let us know your favorite recipe or your favorite thing to grill. Let us know what your plans are for the weekend. If you're out braving this heat today. I'm going to close that just for a minute. Let it kind of really get good and hot in here. My grill is super old, so it's probably going to take just a little bit longer. So, let's talk a little bit more about that local produce. So, local produce can be found in a lot of different places. Like I've mentioned before a couple times, I got mine this morning from a farmer market stand in Newburgh. The produce patch, they brought their stuff down from Washington this morning. But there's farmers markets and pop-up stands almost every day of the week around our area here. So if you visit a pop-up stand or if you have your favorite farm stand that you visit, put that in the comments to share with everyone so that we can all find our favorite markets. The Market on Main is every Wednesday downtown Evansville. The Larkins has a produce pop-up stand on every Tuesday, and I apologize if I'm missing anybody. I believe the Newburgh Farmer Market is going to be starting up here soon if they haven't already gotten started. But there's a huge array. Some grocery stores will have some of the local produce, but a lot of times the farms are too small to be able to supply the big grocery store chains, so they aren't able to use that really good local produce. But most of our farmers want to sell it to us. A lot of farmers will just have a stand outside their farm at the end of their road, and you can stop by and pick stuff up there too. So it's a really great way to get that really high quality stuff. And usually there are reasonable prices, right? The farmers want to share their bounty. So they're going to be able to sell it to us. So if you are ever interested, it's hard to know in our area. We know, especially if you grow your own food, you know what's kind of growing and what's in season where you are, but sometimes it's hard to know exactly what's technically in season versus what's maybe not quite in season, or what's going to be close to being in season. So I want to share with you guys this resource called Food Link, and I've talked about it before, but I'm going to talk about it again because I absolutely love this resource. This is a free resource. It's a website that Purdue Extension put together, and it is still there. We have information on, there's websites with more information out there. There's information on preserving the food that you buy. There's information on where to find some of the food. That may not be the most up to date, but it gives you an idea of things to look for when you're looking at local food. It gives a lot of recipes. There's a lot of really cool information about different fruits and vegetables that might be grown in Indiana. So it is in Indiana. So we know southern Indiana to northern Indiana, there's a little bit different growing season. So it gives information about that, but it also has this really awesome, let's see if I can show you guys, it's really cool calendar. And if you go to the website, or even if you come by our office, we have little rack cards that I can give you guys that have this really cool calendar. But what it does is it shows you the foods that are in season, and when they're in season, and when they're not in season. So it gives a nice range there of some of those foods that you can get, and when you can get them, and even if you're interested in growing, what those growing seasons might look like for some of those foods. Grilling eggplant, yes. So let's talk about seasoning too. So I am kind of pretty simple with my grill, with my cooking. I don't put a whole lot of seasonings on things. I used olive oil as my base. I just drizzled olive oil over the vegetables, and then I drizzled a little bit of olive oil on the aluminum foil before I put it on. But you can use anything, right? So you can be as simple as throwing some salt and pepper on there, and calling it a day there. But obviously go easy on the salt. You can use things like steak seasoning. Steak seasoning makes a great tool because it's got that salt and pepper flavor. It has garlic powder in it. It has red pepper. It has some paprika in it. So this is a good one to just have a kind of a general seasoning. Some people really like putting seasoned salt. Yes, I will put the URL for Food Link on here. Absolutely. It's actually in the description, the link for the Food Link website. So seasoned salt is another great one if you want to add some of that kick to it. But you can even use things like oregano if you want to kind of add a little bit of an Italian flavor to your food. You can use things like garlic powder if you want. They make just Italian blends of herbs, but you can make your own as well. Or even things like paprika. If you want to add a real nice little kick to your food, you can throw some paprika on there. So let us know too in the comments, what's your favorite seasoning to put on your vegetables? I'm just gonna put a little of the steak seasoning because it's easiest. But with eggplant, it's a good food. I really like eggplant. My favorite way to eat it is eggplant parmesan, of course, where it's drenched in marinara and cheese. But it's a great thing to just throw on the grill, especially if you put it with a bunch of other foods. So it's an easy, it's not the prettiest when it's grilling, so I will just say that. It's not really very beautiful, but it is a good tasty food. So I'm reading your comments now. Thanks everybody for saying hi. Roasted corn is really, really delicious. I love it. Yes. So you just turn it, you know, it's something that's really easy, especially if you are grilling other meats or other foods. While you've got that stuff going, throw these things on here, right? The cool thing about it, a lot of times we don't want to grill because we're worried that the food is gonna fall through the grates, right? So that's why that aluminum foil is great. Of course, like I said, there's lots of different gadgets and things that you can get as well. All right. The husband, yes, so sometimes our husbands are, maybe we have friends who are really good grillers. I'm not the greatest griller, but I loved eating grilled food. Market Wagon, yes, so thank you for saying that, Kathy. So Market Wagon is an online farmer's market, so if you're still not wanting to get out, but you still want to get those tastes of the produce, you can order online at Market Wagon. And of course, I'm not endorsing or specifically naming any of these, I'm just providing you guys with these resources to help our local farmers. But Market Wagon is actually based in Indianapolis, and they have an online market, but it's local vendors, so you can actually see who the vendors are and where they're located, so that helps too, to know where the food's coming from. But they will actually deliver it to your house for a little fee, or they have pickup sites every week. So again, it's where you order by a certain date, and then you can either pick it up or have it delivered. So if you want fresh local produce delivered to you, Market Wagon is your way to go. Market on Main this year has it set up where they will do delivery to only the addresses on Main Street. So if you happen to live on Main Street downtown and you want a grocery box delivered, they can deliver it to you there. But those are some ways to get some of that local produce. Let's see. Yes, so I have a small garden as well. It's not doing great. It's okay this year. It looks pretty good, but it's kind of behind. So I feel like I'm not really, unfortunately, I was hoping I could get some of my food from my garden to grill today, but it just didn't happen. It's not ready yet, but that's okay because it still looks beautiful, and once it's ready, it'll be great. But let us know if you're grilling anything. Yes, and so all of these, again, these flavors that you get when you buy from local, it's the freshest you're gonna get it. When we buy in grocery stores, they sell by color, so you're gonna buy what's prettiest, but it's not necessarily gonna be the most flavorful, right? So we know that food is not always pretty. I think vegetables are gorgeous, but they don't always have that beautiful uniform look. Especially if you grow your own, you know that it doesn't always come out beautiful. But grocery stores know that you're gonna want to buy something that looks really pretty. So they're gonna sell you the stuff that looks prettiest. So they might have other food that's not necessarily as pretty. But just because it looks good does not necessarily mean it is the freshest. And nothing against grocery stores. Grocery stores are great, right? They're very convenient for us to be able to get that. Oh, an Arrow Garden, yes. So if you wanna grow your own food, we talked in May's session, I believe, we were at Andrew's house and showing container gardening. But if you do your own growing, our growing season is pretty long for our area, and we have a pretty diverse growing season. But if you want to grow out of season, then using hydroponics or aeroponics are pretty new and pretty, well, they're not really new, but they're becoming more popular. So that would definitely be worth looking into if you're interested in something like that. It also allows some of our producers to be able to give us food before it's really ready. It's kind of the same idea as like greenhouses, where we can get food before it's ready outside, but they allows us to be able to grow some of that food. So really great way, especially if you're growing herbs, things like that. So again, I'm just gonna keep turning this stuff over and over until I am happy with the way it looks. I think, yeah, I lost some gas there. So I told you my grill is old. I was wondering why it wasn't grilling. It's because my grill got shut off. So that happens sometimes too. And the cool thing with vegetables is they don't really care. They're not gonna really go bad when your grill might go out. Whereas if you had a chicken or steak or something like that, it might mess up the moisture level a little bit in that. So, like I said, you can grill this right along with your steak or with your chicken or even with fish. So you can grill fish on the aluminum foil as well on your grill if you like that good grilled fish flavor. So while this is still grilling, I'm gonna ask if you guys have any questions or if you have comments. Please keep sharing your favorite things that you grill. Share with us maybe your weekend plans, whatever you've got going on this weekend. Mine's gonna be pretty relaxed. I'm gonna be just hanging out with real close family, doing our social distance visiting game, and enjoying some grilled food, hopefully. But I think my mom's cooking some barbecues, so that'll be really delicious as well. But this is just a good way to add a healthy kick if you're out grilling, or even if you're not, if you just want to add a fun flavor to your holiday meal. So I'm gonna grab the phone. It's gonna get a little awkward here, but I want to show you guys a closer up view of what my veggies look like on this grill here. And again, they're not done, but you guys can still have a sense of how it looks. And if you see all those pretty colors, we've got yellow, we've got orange, we have green, even white. And what we know about all those different colors is that colors equal different nutrients. And I even have some tomatoes here. So you can add tomatoes. I prefer raw tomatoes over cooked tomatoes. So if you want to throw even your tomatoes on the grill for a minute and let them get warmed up with everything else, or you can have your tomatoes separate. But the other cool thing that I wanted to show you guys too is it doesn't really matter how you cut your vegetables. So you can see with my zucchini and squash, I just sliced them in half. I left my carrots whole. I left the corn whole. The onions I just chunked. I sliced those in big slices. I chunked my green peppers. I halved my eggplant. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you want to have it. So if you want it all to be beautiful slices, put them in slices. If you want them chunked, put them in chunks. It just will affect your cooking time. And so, but again, it's cool because it adds a really neat texture to your foods and what your plate looks like when you have big pieces and little pieces. But you can take something off if it's done and leave the rest on and it's not going to affect anything. So that's what's, again, really cool about your grill. So yes, try it if you have an outdoor electric grill, whatever kind of grill. And again, you don't have to be outside. You can do this inside. So if you have a grill pan, or even with the skillet, you won't get those really pretty grill marks, but on a skillet, you can still get those kind of same flavors. But I like having those grill marks on my food. But they do make grill pans that you can put on your stove, get that really good grill flavor as well. So leave me some questions. Let me give me some comments on there. Let me know how you guys are thinking. Check out that Food Link website. There's really great recipes and other links to other websites that have awesome recipes as well. So I'm gonna keep grilling my food here, and I hope you all have an awesome day. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. Enjoy the weather. I don't think it's supposed to rain this weekend, hopefully, but enjoy your time, enjoy the weather. Contact me if you have any questions or other ideas, and I will see you all next month. Bye.